guys, how you going? It's John from Oz General Store, and today we've got a very special episode. Today I'm going to be talking about my 1976 LX Torana. This is my first car that I bought in 2007. Back in 2007 I was a fair bit younger, and I was working at Safeway, being a bit of a trolley boy and a checkout chick, and I was saving my money, and I was reading Street Machine religiously every lunchtime. And I thought to myself, well, you know, what car do I want? Do I want a HQ? Maybe. Do I want a Ford XW? That'd be great, but no, I settled on an LX Torana, which you see here. The rules of the game with this particular car, and when I was buying my first car, was that I couldn't buy a complete rust bucket. I had to buy something. Dad said, he goes, you have to buy something that's registered, you have to buy something that you can drive, because you don't really know what you're doing. And he was right. I didn't know what I was doing. I hardly even owned any tools. You know, I would it have been on the road now? Probably not. So the best advice he ever gave me was to buy something that was actually already going and I could learn how to drive in it. Back in 2007 I was 17 years of age, and I was reading Just Parts and Just Car magazine. I was on car sales religiously, and I was looking at my bank account and I thought, wow, $6,000, that's what I've got to spend. What can I buy? And I bought this for $6,300 back in 07. I visited a bloke in Clayton who had it under his carport. In all reality, it's probably one of the ugliest paint schemes that have ever been conceived, but because I've owned the car for such a long time, it's almost grown on me. Who knew orange and brown? But once you see the car, you're not going to forget the car. You know, it's something that grows on me. Originally I thought it was also a G-Pack, but I think it's just a normal Torana S base model. So if we go for a bit of a walk around the car, I visited this old bloke. He was a mechanic all his life in Clayton. He had the car under his carport, and he said to me, he goes, you know, well, gee, at least you'll have a little bit of metal around you in case you crash. I think he was expecting that, you know, I was going to hoon around and not really take care of it and just, you know, ride it off one of these days. So he didn't have much confidence in my abilities, which was a shame. You can see it here. This car is a driver's car. I don't keep it in the shed, and I do drive it. I drive it to work. You'll see it around southeastern suburbs of Melbourne. I haven't washed the car for this video. I haven't cleaned out the interior. I haven't done anything, but I think that's just the way I am sometimes when it comes to certain things. Is yes, I like to polish things up, but I actually like to use things, and these cars are meant to be driven, not hidden. You'll see the price of these type of cars is going up. I personally don't like that much, because you get people that aren't true enthusiasts entering the market. And plus it makes me a little bit more scared driving this car, but anyway, that's another story. So what I've done is I've installed sway bars down the bottom. It did have a front apron over here, but I've just thrown that in the bin. Everything you see is basically original. It's got the 13-inch hot wire rims over here. I was at Listerfield Lake on the weekend, and you can see it got a little bit muddy on the sills. You know, it is what it is. There's a few dents, and I will be respraying the car in the near future. But for the time being, I'm really happy with how it is. Let's keep going for a walk. You can see somebody spent a lot of time with these stripes here. You know, they really got the masking just right. So to credit to them, I'm just not sure about the paint scheme, but it is what it is. Got the spoiler here. I need to replace the lock. I just haven't got around to it. It's got twin exhausts. I've replaced the red 202 with a red 308. It's an 11 QT motor from Holden Statesman. Got it built down by a 308 shop just across the road from us. interior. That was one of the first things that I redid, because a certain friend of mine, she didn't really like the old stained interior. It was a light color with a cloth insert here, and she hated it. This was back in 08. So that was one of the first things I did. I got it re-trimmed in black leather. I was a freak uni student, so I think the guy took pity on me and it didn't cost that much money. Saved up and bought a Rare Spares SLR steering wheel, which was pretty expensive. But yeah, let's have a look at the engine bay. Alright, it's a red 308. It's got a 286 cam. It's lumpy. It's had head work done. It still runs the early heads. It's good for about 300 horsepower. And I mean, when I got the motor built a couple of years ago, it was the first motor I had actually gotten built. You sort of don't really know. You read opinions on the internet, you watch YouTube videos, but until you build a motor yourself, then you sort of realize, oh, okay, I've got too hot of a cam, or I actually want this, or the drivability. When you're young and somebody says to you the drivability of a car is not great, you sort of tend to think to yourself, she'll be right, it's, you know, it'll be fine. You know, you don't really have a concept of what drivability is. Would I change the cam on this? No, I'm pretty happy with what it is. It's running a Rochester Quadrajet carby. Maybe I would go to EFI, but everything that you see here, it's all very standard. It's just been rebuilt, new pistons, and yeah, it's neat and tidy. We've resprayed the engine bay, and the rest of the car is to follow. One thing I'd like to point out is it's running Pacemaker extractors over here. Oz General Store has recently become a retailer of Pacemaker extractors. We have the best prices in Australia. Give us a call if you need some. She's a lumpy girl, that's for sure. 286 cam is probably as hot as I'd like to go. She seems to always run a little bit rich. That's sort of why I want to go to EFI. But I mean, she's got some mild manners. It took a little bit to get her tuned properly. She was bogging down when she was reaching about 3,000 RPM. This car used to be a 4-speed, Aussie 4-speed actually, when I had the 202. And probably one of my biggest regrets is not keeping the manual gearbox. I've gone to an auto because I thought I'd take it to the drags, but I sort of I'm very busy like everybody else, and so I sort of don't really get time to think about going to the drags. But yeah, with this car you actually got more looks and more friendly smiles when it was the 202 from the opposite sex. When it's loud and obnoxious like this, I'll go to my local shops and it's only the old dudes that give you the thumbs up, or, oh yeah mate, she sounds great, you know, you're never late in a 308. Yeah, but I've owned this car for a really long time now, and I probably should be a little bit further along the journey with fixing it up and everything like that, but I hate taking it off the road. I mean, I took it off the road to get the engine done, and you know, I don't really feel like taking it apart again. I've taken it apart many a time. I just can't be bothered. So it's great to be, you know, to have a car to drive on the weekend and you just enjoy yourself, you know. It's not the most pristine showroom condition car, nor do I really want it to be. I mean, I already get a little bit concerned driving the car these days because, you know, people scratch your car or steal it, you know what I mean? So it's not much fun. But the other specs with this engine is the store converters at, I think it's 3,000 RPM sort of thing. Turbo 350, so it's 3-speed. When I first built the car, you're used to modern cars and it's only got 3 speeds, and you go, what the hell? It's revving at 3,000 RPM, you know, when you're 100 Ks. And that's considered fairly low. The diff ratio is just highway gears. And if I let you on into a little secret, it's still got the 6-cylinder differential, including the yoke, and so that's probably something that I need to fix up later on. I've done the suspension work, it's got sway bars, suspension's been fully rebuilt, so the driveline's quite good. I think I just need to pull my finger out and yeah, basically finish the rest of the car. But let's go for a little bit of a squirt, hey? So I'll shift it down into first, wait for this car to go. Yeah, she definitely boogies. Oh, there's no power steering.